Well, take a wild guess who is on Lindsey Graham's South Carolina turf today. Rand Paul, just days after saying Republican hawks like Graham and John McCain created ISIS, to another Republican presidential candidate who's having none of it, Senator Rick Santorum, the former senator of the fine state of Pennsylvania, joining us now. Senator, what do you make of this dust-up? It seems to have divided Republicans about, protecting your privacy and protecting your hiney. But where do you stand?
Well, look, I think everybody's concerned about privacy. I think Republicans have shown that. I mean, the House vote certainly showed that people are concerned about privacy and responding to what the Supreme Court said. But I think also people are concerned about security. They're concerned that you have an organization like ISIS that's already said that they are going to be calling people to jihad in this country, that they want to try to sneak a nuclear weapon over the southern border and hurt this country. So you can't take that lightly from folks who are crucifying people in the Middle East.
Let me ask you about that. The president right now, with Loretta Lynch in the White House, is talking about his plan. As you know, a lot of these provisions in the Patriot Act sunset on Sunday, and the president, I guess, is coming up with a backup plan. We're monitoring this very closely about how to deal with that if that should occur. Do you think Rand Paul has put us in a compromised security position as a result?
Well, hopefully Rand Paul won't prevail, that the Senate will do what it must do, which is to keep our defenses up and follow through with a plan that balances the interests. It's always a balancing, you know that, Neil. It's always a balancing between security and freedom, and that's
you seem to be
in
more
every aspect
closely
of our
aligned
life.
with President Obama, Senator.
I am.
On this issue than with Senator Paul.
Absolutely, and I voted for the Patriot Act, and I'd vote for it again. I think it's been very effective in keeping Americans safe. I remember when that Patriot Act was put forth, there was concern about repeated terrorist attacks going on a constant basis, and that's not happened as much as anyone predicted during that time. And I think the Patriot Act has been effective in curbing those attacks.
You know, this security issue has raised sort of like a whose side are you on within the Republican Party? And as the president continues talking about what plans he might make come Sunday, it comes back to, well, when is enough enough? When I had Scott Walker here yesterday, Senator, I said, well, do you draw the line at collecting 120 million Americans' phone records? He says, yeah, that's going too far. Do you think that goes too far?
Well, again, I think if it depends what you're collecting and who has access to it, and the idea that we're just going to leave them at Verizon. You know, Neil, because you've had people on your show about all the hacking that's going on in the private sector and the data leakages. Look at the IRS just the other day. I mean, just leaving them out there is not exactly providing any kind of safety and security for people to be able to get into your records. So I think this is somewhat of a false argument. The real argument here is what do we need to be able to make sure that we are adequately protected, at the same time not unduly opening up people to privacy concerns. And I think we've had a pretty good balancing act up until this point. We haven't any cases where privacy has been invaded that's been alleged at this point. And we do have a lot
of... Senator, do we have any indications, at least fresh ones, recent ones, where this type of overreach, and many people argue collecting 120 million Americans' phone records could be overreach, or Judge Napolitano says that, Rand Paul says that, obviously.
Sure.
That it hasn't done the job. Otherwise, some of these recent incidents would never have popped up in the first place. What do you think?
Well, again, we don't. If all we're doing is fighting the last war, then we're going to have a lot of problems in this country. That one of the things that the Patriot Act was hoping to do was to try to make sure that when the bad guys move around and try something new, that we're in place to actually thwart them from doing it. So if your test is always, they didn't do it before, well, they didn't fly airplanes and not learn to land them. They just practiced takeoffs and not landing.
But on that notion, we're monitoring what the president's saying here. But one of the things he just said is that, look, midnight Sunday, we could be more vulnerable if the Senate hasn't moved on this to all sorts of nasty stuff, attacks, et cetera. I'm paraphrasing here. What do you think?
I think they should pass the bill, and we shouldn't have to rely on the president doing what I loathe the president doing, which is not paying attention to the law and creating some new executive power to do things that the law doesn't allow him to do. So I'm very uncomfortable with what the president may propose.
Are you uncomfortable with siding with the president on this issue, though, when it comes to this court?
you know what? I've got a long record, Neil, of siding with folks on the other side of the aisle when they're right. I'm not a partisan for the sake of partisan. I care about this country. I care about the security of this country. And we have people on any side of the aisle, and libertarian, socialist, whoever. If they see the world the same way I do on this issue, I'm happy to partner with them.
Real quickly on this presidential race, you're in again. People forget you won the Iowa caucus last go round. You're in 11 states. Not too shabby. Came in second. But that you're facing a lot of headwinds and a lot more competitors this go-round.
Yeah.
Do you have the money? Do you have the support?
Well, go to ricksantorum.com and you can help us in both. You can send us some money, and actually, including you, Neil, send us some money and sign up to support us. I mean, this is a long journey. We're 9 months away. When I announced almost 4 years ago to this day, and we were given no chance. Very few people showed up as far as media was concerned, and we did okay. We understand that this is going to be a long slog. We're in it for the long term, and we're gonna run a very effective and focused campaign. And I'm very excited about the message that we delivered on Wednesday, and I want to thank Fox for actually showing that message. It was good coverage. I appreciate that.
We show with everyone. Thank you. Because there are quite a few of you. But Senator, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil.
Rick Santorum.